Hi, I'm Elaine Romero. I am the author of Ponzi, which is premiering here at Kitchen Dog Theater. I wrote the play on commission with Kitchen Dog Theater and the National New Play Network, and it has to do with a woman and her journey to find her true self. She is a rich heiress, and she loses everything in a Ponzi scheme. And it's the story of how she finds if there's a real person in there or not, if somebody who exists beyond having money or having a certain kind of identity. I was really interested in this idea that we get very attached to our identities, whether it be a marriage or a job, and what happens when one of those identities goes away, and what do we do, and how do we survive, and do we survive? And so those were some of the questions I was thinking about when I was writing the play. Well, it was interesting. I had known of another Ponzi scheme in Oregon a few years before, and at that time I'd been very interested in writing a play about a Ponzi scheme. But when the Madoff story hit, I realized my idea of this play called Ponzi that had been kind of bouncing around in my head finally had listeners and people that might be very interested in hearing a story about that. And now that it had reached the national consciousness, I might have something. And so that it was actually not obviously exciting, because it's never exciting to know someone who loses money in a Ponzi scheme or any of that, but the idea that this had been exposed, and as a result, many, many Ponzi schemes have been exposed. I definitely read a lot about Ponzi himself. I read about various Ponzi schemes, and I also started to think about just the economy in general and what had happened in the world economy and the US economy, and how in many ways people feel as if they've been Ponzi'd. You know, the bank crisis itself felt like a Ponzi scheme. Everybody's money was going down. And so there is a sense in which we're all victims, even though we might not be a victim in the sense of my characters in this play. And so I wanted to talk about the economy, but do it in a sexy way and in an interesting way. Yeah, she had starred in my play, Curandetta's Serpents of the Clouds, which had been in a past New Works Festival here at Kitchen Dog. And I really loved her work and always thought of her as, in my pieces. I call it the cerebral ensemble, and Christy's definitely been a member of that for quite some time. And those are actors that I think of when I write, and she's one of those people for me. There is a lot of her in this play. In terms of the blood of the play, I think I like to write plays with a very deep heart, and Christy's an actor who has great access to her heart.